You may add sound effects to this video. Well, it's for the White Weirdo Part 2, so what the heck. The next day, Puffer was busy in the yards. Trains were coming in, and he was desperate for a break. Even though he was still worried about Kyle. Just then, Kyle eased slowly next to him. He still looked bummed about last time. Kyle, are you okay? It's been a long time since I've seen you like that. Fine. Come on, Kyle. You can tell me. We're friends. Are we not? Alright. It's just ever since the Pikesville engines were upset at me for just one thing I said, it made me feel upset. Like I really don't belong anymore. Oh, don't listen to them. They're just upset for just one stupid thing. But they're right. And I was right. About what? Remember that part when I was related to Crimson? Oh, you mean that engine that they were talking about? That Crimson fella. Yeah, that's the guy. What's up with that Crimson fella anyways? And why are they upset at you because of that? Well, if I tell you this story, please don't get mad at me. Don't worry, Cal. I'll be by your side. Well, okay then, said Kyle. He closed his eyes tightly. And this was the story that the White Engine told of his brother, Crimson. A long time ago, before I even came to Sodor, I was built in a small factory with a few other engines. Among these were my brother Crimson, a pretty rude engine at times, but he hated all other engines next to him, and complained a lot. At least that's what I think. There were two mother engines, too. One of them was named Theo, and his sister, Nicole. It's been a bit hard to remember them, but I think I remember them as cats. They were all built in a small factory. I don't know where, but I think it was a small factory. And we were all built under the names of the smallest Trojans. From what I can remember, our builder's name was Tom Kaplan. He had borrowed designs from the original creators of the Trojans to make us. I was pretty eager to meet him. He actually felt like a father figure to me. Crimson, however, wasn't convinced. Theo and Nicole would sometimes talk to me when the builders weren't around. Sometimes we'd talk about either trucks, coaches, and what our jobs would be when we were bought by other users, or railways, or anything. I was really curious to see what my owners would look like. Mr. Kaplan then arrived, and he told us great news. We would all be sold to railways across the country. Theo and Nicole would be bought by the Great Western Railway, which made them a bit excited. I would be bought for a railway in Colorado. And Crimson, however, would be bought by the same railway as me. He then told us how proud he was of us. 4 of the most responsible engines he had ever seen in his life. even treating me like a kid. Something I'll never forget. Huffer was surprised. "You must have had a great laugh there," he thought, and said. "It was, but not for much longer." "Why?" "3 years after we were built, and after we got our own crews, we were ready to go off to our new railways. The driver was heating up my fires, and so was Crimson's driver. The firelighters had done great. We were steaming like angels, proud to get up to heaven. However, there was trouble. Crimson was complaining like crazy. Colorado, a horrible railway for him to go. "Why not?" I asked. He explained. "But we're brothers. Shouldn't we just look out for each other?" I was shocked. But Crimson!" The driver then pulled the lever on his cab, and he set off onto the turntable. I was still trying to get his attention. When I finally did, he exploded with rage. He yelled at me, louder than ever. And before he knew it, he bashed me into the buffers so hard, I almost came off the tracks. My driver was nearly thrown off the cab, but my fireman, however, he was thrown clear and landed on the ground. Blood was everywhere. Well, not really everywhere, but you get the idea. The crash impact that Crimson gave me was so huge that it almost took his life away. He was unconscious, and he was sent to the hospital. When we tried to explain, Mr. Kaplan was really upset with us. He didn't feel like a father figure anymore. Now he felt like somebody else I know, but not too sure. He then made me arrangements to sell me to another railway, the Northwestern Railway. I never saw my brother ever again. I guess when he came to Pikesville, he must have remembered something from our past and drove him to complain about it. Huffer was shocked. "So that's why they yelled at you. Because your brother was reminiscing about you." "Yeah. I honestly wish I wasn't built." "Kyle, it's not your fault. It's Crimson. He might have changed. He may not like you, but he's still your brother." "How are you so sure?" "Maybe you should go up to them and give them a second chance. I understand you completely." "Really?" "Yeah, I mean, look at me. I was built in the United States of America, while my class was built in Britain. I'm the first Western BR class. And you're one of the most impressive engines I've ever seen in my life." "You're right," said Kyle. "I should." "Thanks, Huffer. I'll go right away." And he set off immediately. "Ho ho, what would Sodor do without good old Huffer?" he thought.